What's up, everybody? All right, we're going to kick off this live stream right now. And let me see if I can hide. Let's see. Okay, right on. Welcome to this week's Trailblazers uh, experience. We dive into how you can use and think about AI to build a brand and a business that is simple, that has high levels of growth, and that attracts the most amazing people into your world. So I am a part of a couple other communities, and one of them, I'm connected to someone and he is super well connected and goes to tons of different industry events. And I am just currently not prioritizing going to events. But he went to one and they were talking about how to optimize SEO inside of AI. Okay, so we're all familiar, or I assume you're familiar with SEO from a Google ranking standpoint. So what that means is if you type your name into Google or your business name, how high up do you show on the search results? Are you the number one search result? Do you have to scroll to page two? So SEO is search engine optimization. Now, what about AI? Okay, we're using tools like ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude, but those tools aren't necessarily trained on us, right? Google doesn't know who, or excuse me, ChatGPT didn't know who Natalee Champlin was when it started. So on what I'm going to show you today is how to look up what AI and what Google already knows about you to make sure that that's what you want it to be saying to your customers. Because when you're building a brand, one of the most important things is that what you say about yourself is also what other people say about you too. And we really have to design what that is, and we have to craft that because customers are making decisions off of the perception of us. All right, so this is an important thing here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to pop over. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pop into a tool called Perplexity.ai. Okay, so this is a tool that's free to use, and uh, it's kind of what Google should be. It's like a combination of Google plus AI. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to use myself as an example. I actually did this yesterday and I was not super excited about the results that it gave me. So that's great because I have an opportunity to improve. All right, so here's what you're going to do. Pull up perplexity.ai and you're literally just going to type in your name. Who is Natalee Champlin? All right. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to search the internet for information about you, and then it's going to summarize that. All right. So, Natalee is a successful entrepreneur and business consultant known as the Velvet Hammer. She's the owner and chief strategist of her own consulting firm, Natalee Champlin Co. Okay, so it's got these two little dots here. These are references to actual links that it's uh, you know, taking this info from. Okay, look, so here's my alumni directory, actually. How interesting. Um, from my alma mater. I assume you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, and then this one is a link to Entreprenista. So they featured me, geez, back 3 years ago. Okay, so I've got some info on other sites that it's talking about me. Now, is that info what I want it to be saying about me? That's a great question. Okay, now this goes into my early education, my background, my career. Cool. Here's what I specialize in. So I would take a look at this and say, is this what I want to be known for? Um, coming in here and looking at all of the different places that you're linked up, that other websites are referring to you. Maybe you've got podcasts, like I've been on a couple of podcasts. Are those podcasts referencing me correctly? Okay, you can see here, it's also referencing back to my LinkedIn account. This is why it's important for us to have a solid and consistent brand across all platforms, because we want to make sure that what we're telling other people is the perception that we want to create in their minds. I have a great friend, Christian Hansen, who is the author of The Influence Mindset, and he always talks about how people the way that we influence people is through the perceptions that we create by the stories that we tell. And, not everything that is on that's going to pull up about you is necessarily a story. Sometimes it's just like facts and figures, right? But when it comes to the content that we create, our content particularly on LinkedIn newsletters, this is something we talked about last night. Apparently, this Perplexity is really prioritizing the content on LinkedIn newsletters as far as becoming a source of information about you. And if people are asking questions about something, it's going to be looking up articles that you may have published. In fact, this just happened to me the other day. I was looking up a topic and I found a really great article. It was published on LinkedIn, and I started following the guy who had written it. I can't remember what it was, but um, you know, this online presence and building a brand that people can trust, people can begin to recognize. It's important for us to really be uh, intentional about what we're crafting online, right? So you can think about it like a character in a movie. If you're wanting to establish who a character is, you're going to consider the way that they dress. You're going to consider the home and the way that it's decorated. You're going to consider what job that they have. You're going to be clear about what problems are they currently working through, like what's the story arc of this character and how we want to establish them. If you look at a character like from Lord of the Rings, let's take Frodo from Lord of the Rings, right? He's a hobbit. He lives in this little hobbit hole. His community is very tight-knit. They're all growing vegetables and they're all just happy and content in their own little space. But for him, he's kind of not content and he wants to go on this big adventure, right? That's a completely different character than, say, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a kid in the big city and, he's into science and he wants to go work for Mr. Stark, and then he gets bit by this spider and he has to like he's got these new superpowers and he's kind of this like Lone Ranger and is trying to, fight evil and do good, um, and find his way through life as a teenager, right? And so that character is going to appeal to a different audience of people. So think about yourself, like, who are you? One of the things that I am not is I am not a funded Silicon Valley entrepreneur. I live in Silicon Valley, but what I am is really more of a Main Street entrepreneur. I'm a mother of four. I have a lot of ambition. I have gotten really well connected to some incredible entrepreneurs that a lot of people won't ever get the chance to be connected with. And I've had conversations and I've had insights from millionaire and billionaire and very highly affluent entrepreneurs that kind of gives me this leg up on how do they think? How do they build businesses? How do they build relationships? And how do they use those relationships to really accelerate their results? And I share that information with you guys, right? I think on my profile, I say, I help people open doors to affluent buyers, mentors, and networks, right? So that's just been like this random superpower that I've had. And that's the flavor and angle that I bring to what I do. And, you have your own angle and flavor of what you do and how you bring, that to the marketplace. I think of a friend named Cody who is trying to change the shape of healthcare. And the way that he's doing that is through showing people how much it would cost for any procedure at any location across the United States. And so he has a ton of data that I think his app is called Billy, and it's free. You can go download it if you want. But, he brings a different angle to improving the world of healthcare than one of my past clients, Thea Blystone, who is a pharmacist. What she does is she helps people to build a remote care practice. So if you're a pharmacist and you want to build a six-figure income but work from home and do it part-time, she shows you how to do that by servicing clients and making not only the clients' lives better, but also improving the data and the reporting that the doctor's offices have to do so that they can get more money back from insurance. So, there's a totally different angle, though they're both improving the landscape of healthcare. So you have, competitors, you have other people who do what you do. You have your customers have other options that they can choose besides you. So, what is that unique flavor that you bring to your space? And making sure that that is clearly articulated and that's a forward-facing thing online, on all of your social profiles, on your website, and that those things are saying the same thing. That's going to help improve this search engine optimization. That's going to teach AI, it's going to teach Google that you are who you say you are who your clients say you are, and you are you, especially if you have a common name. My name happens to not be very common at all, neither my first and my last name. So I got a kind of a win on that. But if you've got a relatively common name, this is going to be super important from a personal branding aspect. So I hope this has been helpful to show you how AI can help you with this. The other thing that I didn't cover though is, um, if you have questions, feel free to ask your AI, like, hey, how could I improve? Like, actually, I want to be known for this. What are some ideas? What are 10 ideas that you have for places I could go get published so that I'm improving my search rankings, right? Or what are 10 articles that I could write and publish on my own LinkedIn that are going to boost my credibility and authority in this particular area? So, more on that on another episode.